Hiking at its core is a simple activity. You go on long walks, typically through remote and natural areas with unique terrain. For such a simple activity, there is a lot to learn and many skills to progress, some of which can grow to become advanced disciplines of hiking. 3 years ago, I began my hiking journey, a complete outdoor novice with nothing but my own judgment and passion to guide me. I grew to enjoy the challenges that solo hiking provided, and as time went on, it quickly became a full-time passion. Now, after only 3 years, I've amassed a resume of difficult hikes, treks, and beginner mountaineering objectives, and I've certainly learnt a good few lessons along the way, which is what this video is all about. I've collected a list of the most important and valuable lessons that I can teach you from what I've learnt through all my experiences. This is a quick fire list without spending too much time on any particular topic, otherwise we could be here for a while. So open your mind and let me enlighten you with 3 years worth of my most valuable hiking lessons. Set incremental and meaningful goals. Without going in any particular order of importance, this list does happen to start with probably the most important lesson that I have learnt that has contributed the most to my growth as a hiker. If growing as a hiker is of some importance to you, whether it be entering into through hiking or mountaineering or the like, then setting incremental and meaningful goals is perhaps the most important thing that you can do. As I found the challenge of hiking to be the most enjoyable aspect for me, I was always on the hunt for the next difficult objective. This meant that I was always upping the intensity of my hikes in some way, be it either the technical challenge, the distance, or an increase in elevation gain. This is the lesson that has taken me from my first major goal of climbing Mount Feathertop during the winter to my most recent goal of leading a group to the summit of Lobuche East, a 6,000 metre Himalayan expedition style climb. If you want to find out just how far your body can take you, you have to master the art of goal setting. Even if you have humble objectives, completing a long-term goal is extremely satisfying, and it doesn't have to follow anyone else's standards but your own. Don't let fear hold you back. Easier said than done, but I've had mental battles with fear across most of my hikes. I think that everyone does, or at least has had them. I've found fear to be more of a barrier of entry to most scenarios that aren't truly dangerous, to which most scenarios really aren't. If you can muster the strength to move past this fear, then you won't have to face the pang of disappointment and regret, especially when you know that you could have done something. Don't let fear stop you from having an amazing experience. Preparation is key. This is somewhat linked to the previous lesson, where if you research and prepare well for your next objective, then you will know what to expect and be ready to face the challenges without surprise. Study the maps, read the trip reports, and know what to pack. Use the internet to its full potential to help you prepare well. This is in part why I first began making videos, because the places that I wanted to go to didn't have information that satisfied me. Good preparation will give you the confidence to take on new trails and new challenges. I cannot imagine entering blind onto a new trail without having done any research whatsoever. This is a must for me on any new adventure. Have and be confident in your safety net. Don't leave home without some assurance that if disaster strikes, you won't be in serious trouble. I escaped said serious trouble not through preparedness, but through luck alone. You don't want luck to be the only reason why you dodge thousands of dollars of medical bills, when a small investment and a little bit of preparation can give you the same recurring result. Invest in a personal locator beacon or some form of satellite communication device, along with ambulance cover or some other form of insurance. A $300 PLB and a $50 ambulance membership, at least for Australians, is a very, very small price to pay when the wrong outcome of a hike could result in you paying out thousands of dollars or potentially paying with your life. Don't invest in overnight hiking equipment right away. For those who come to me looking for advice when beginning their hiking journey, I always urge them to start with day hiking to either let the passion bloom or die. There is a very low barrier to entry for day hiking, and you likely already have everything that you need. A small backpack, a water bottle, some active wear, a raincoat, and some food. That's all you need. Compare this to what you need to start overnight hiking safely, and you need a backpacking specific backpack, a tent, a sleeping bag, a sleeping pad, a stove, etc, etc. The difference in investment that you have to make between the two disciplines of hiking is huge. Instead of buying into overnight hiking gear and potentially finding out that you don't like it, or finding out that you do like it but you've bought the wrong equipment, more on this next, stick with day hiking for a while before making the next step into overnight hiking. Buy the right gear from the beginning. If you've followed my advice from the previous lesson and have been day hiking for a while now, and know that you want to stick to hiking for some time to come, then making a reasonable investment into some good overnight hiking gear won't sting as much as it could. If you buy the right gear from the beginning, it will last you a long time and many hiking trips. It will also avoid the need to upgrade your equipment if you initially bought cheap or non-desirable options without having done any research or testing. Try out gear from friends or hire out gear for a trip before locking in any of your decisions with a big long-term investment. Don't fall into the marketing trap. The hiking community loves to rave on and on about gear, and it only takes a few searches on YouTube to discover this. All it is marketing promoting the constant chase for better equipment. If you have taken the right steps into learning what equipment you like and have invested well into good quality gear, then there isn't really anything to gain by making minor adjustments to your equipment. Take two tents for example, each of the same design but of a different manufacturer. There might be some small differences between the two, but they are largely going to be the same. Marketing will try and have you believe that they are not the same and that they're very different. If you're happy to fork out, say, $500 for a tent that has maybe an additional pocket or another small inconsequential feature, then be my guest, but just know that you've taken the bait. Not all purchases of new gear are pointless, obviously, like buying into a totally different design, but just be wary of gear acquisition syndrome. It is real and it is a danger to your wallet. Your backpack matters most. Out of all of your hiking kit, you want to find the right backpack for you, your gear, and your style of hiking. Is it long overnight trips with lots of gear? Is it fast and light day hikes? Or is it ultralight? Pairing your style of hiking with the right backpack really does make a massive difference. I spent quite a lot of time looking for and testing various different backpacks for overnight trips, day hiking, and alpine hiking, and once I found the right one for each style, it really made my time on the trail so much easier. It helps to know what features are available and what features you've wished you've had on previous trips. The quality of life improvements that finding the right backpack can make is very noticeable, and much more so than if you were to upgrade any other major item. It's a bit rich of me to give you this advice just after I've told you to be wary of YouTube gear recommendations, but take it as you will, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Trekking poles are for everyone. A misconception that I often hear by the uninformed is that trekking poles are only for the elderly or for people with injuries. Well, no, that's not the case. Everyone should be using and benefiting from using trekking poles. Trekking poles spread the physical impact of walking between your upper and lower body, with studies claiming that it reduces the impact of each step by 4%, which doesn't sound like much alone, but remember, that's every step, and those steps add up quickly. They drastically aid with balance and promote joint health and longevity, especially over rugged terrain or while descending. Their capacity to help with injury prevention is perhaps the biggest reason why you should be using them. As a consequence of the impact reduction and the increased balance that I get from using them, I find that I hike a lot faster. They have also become somewhat of a multi-purpose item in this new era of ultralight hiking. A lot of great tents that are coming out nowadays use trekking poles as tent poles in their design if you needed another reason to use them. Choose trail comfort over campsite comfort. Lugging around a heavy backpack is a surefire way to be uncomfortable on the trail. I like to pack only what is absolutely necessary, as this allows me to cover more ground and hike easier over more technical terrain. If you care more for your comfort when actually hiking rather when at camp, then this is the mindset that you need to adopt. You can take this to the extreme and give up pretty much all of your campsite comforts, or you can try and find a happy medium, giving up only the ones that you don't really care about. Every item you pack needs to have a crucial purpose or multiple different purposes. This cuts down on bulk, weight, and general inefficiencies. Itineraries that suggest daily distances of under 20 kilometers suddenly seem too short when you're free of the burden of carrying a 25 kilo backpack. With the trend of ultralight gear as well, it's actually quite easy to retain most of your campsite comforts while still keeping to a very low pack weight. Adopt the layering approach to clothing. Learning how to correctly layer my clothes for hiking was a huge game changer, and thankfully it's one that I adopted quite early. It seems to be common knowledge now, which is great because knowing the different layers you need for hiking and what each of them do is very important for comfort, adaptability, and safety. The base layer is the on-skin layer, typically merino or merino blend. Then you have a mid layer, which is typically a fleece and is used for extra warmth while still remaining breathable. Next you have an insulative layer, which is typically a down jacket, and finally your shell layer, rain jacket, rain pants, and the like. You can mix and match all of these layers in different scenarios to find the correct balance of warmth, breathability, and weather protection. A much better solution than if you were to bring clothing that was intended to be multifunctional, as you can't chop and change and adapt them to suit the varying weather and temperatures that you might face. Train to maximize your hiking fitness. Neglecting training and its various subtypes is keeping your hiking fitness stagnant and setting you up for injury. If your primary goal is to hike and hike progressively longer and more difficult trails, then you need to invest your time into training. Long aerobic endurance workouts are perhaps the most important training that you can do. These workouts are essentially mini hikes done with minimal additional weight at an intensity of 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. Combine these workouts with a strength training routine that addresses any noticeable weaknesses in your muscles, along with training the general strength and mobility of your lower body. Don't place too much emphasis on strength training, however, as it could interfere with your aerobic workouts and your hiking for introducing excessive fatigue. This is a much deeper subject and one that I have covered in the past, so if this is of some interest to you, then I do recommend you check them out. Don't give up so easily. Your body can only take so much punishment before it starts to break down and fail, and this happens way before your mind will give up, so long as you can control it. If you can resist the urge to give up when it becomes difficult, you will find that your body can somehow will itself to go on. It's a different sensation and often takes you into an entirely different state of mind. Endurance athletes should recognise this feeling of bodily exhaustion and the mental battle to continue. So long as you continue to fight that mental battle, your body will keep moving, and sometimes the objectives that you choose necessitate this approach. I've learned a lot about myself and how my mind works when pushing on even though every muscle in my body is telling me to stop. This is how you train your mind to carry you further. These lessons have by far impacted my journey as a hiker more than any other, and have seen me drastically change not only my approach to hiking, but also myself as a person. The confidence that I have gained through utilising this hobby as a means to challenge myself and as an avenue for goal setting and achieving is immense. So I hope that some of them have resonated with you and your own journey as a hiker, or wherever you wish this passion to take you. If you've enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you left a like or commented some of your own lessons to share. I'd be really interested to see what some of you have learnt. Thanks for your time, and I'll catch you on the next one.